Hey guys, this is Jon.
And Austin.
This is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. I offer to let Austin lead us in, but
I can't do it. I sound like crap.
his voice is so bad.
The first voice
today.
that comes on can't be the one that sounds like death.
We'll try and get him to talk as little as possible. Oddly, this will probably be the episode that I interrupt you the least.
Sweet.
Most likely. So this coming out after Christmas? So Christmas is on Monday?
Yeah.
Oh.
This will be out a couple days before New Year's.
Still Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you have good New Year's plan. I have already moved on to eating. So for our featured flavor today, we
moved on. The reason that I was looking at you and you were like, "Go ahead and lead us in," is because you were already eating before we even started. So moving on is not even the right frame of reference.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. This is our Andouille sausage that I made a couple months ago. It's got some heat to it, but I wouldn't call it super hot.
No, not hot. I was worried before we started to ask Jon, is this spicy? Because if it is, I'm going to be sniffling the whole time because my nose is plugged up and spicy things make my nose run. But
I've got some ghost pepper cheese in there if you want to take a handful.
Ooh, no, let's not.
But do it.
Yeah. Maybe after,
There
see
you go.
what it does.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to be annoying everybody with my sniffles the whole time.
Fair point.
Andouille's so good. It has a lot of spice to it, but it's not super spicy hot. It's just got a lot of flavor. Even with a stuffy nose, it hits your mouth and the flavor just starts popping out. It's amazing.
So 4 spices in this. We have salt, spices, including mustard seed, red pepper, black pepper, and white pepper. And you definitely pick up all those peppers, though I'm pretty sure I can't identify what white pepper actually tastes like.
Oh,
We've done this before. We've talked about it.
I forget which way it goes. Like, I want to say, could be wrong. Probably wrong. Just start out with that. Probably wrong.
Let's do it.
But I think black and white, one will hit like more on the front of your mouth and the other one hits more like on like the back of your mouth, back of your throat.
What I seem to remember about white pepper is that like it's commonly paired with cheeses. No idea if that's correct or not, but that is what I remember.
Never heard that before.
I think of fondue for some reason when I think of white pepper.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you.
Then it's got dehydrated onion, corn syrup solids, sugar, garlic powder, and parsley. So it has to give us both corn syrup solids and sugar. Couldn't just do one or the other to us.
These are also, dare I say, almost too fatty. Probably not too fatty, but like a delicious amount of fat in there.
Too fatty was not a good comment. That made you sound.
The only reason I say too fatty is because it's literally running out all over the cutting board. It's not too fatty to like eat, but there's a lot of fat in here.
Well, there's 2
but
things.
That makes it delicious.
Yeah, there are 2 things with that. 3 things actually. 1, obviously we added cheese. 2, we cooked it in a toaster oven, not on a grill, so it didn't nothing really came out of it. And then I don't remember what the third one was. I'm sure it was super important though.
Yeah.
The third one. It's gone. Nope. Never to be recovered.
It's lost in the depths of your mind forever.
And it's not very deep. It's a very shallow pond in there. Okay. So, Christmas. How was your Christmas?
Very good. Started feeling this way Christmas Day. I don't really feel bad. I just sound horrible.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot better than I sound. But Christmas was great. We got to go to both sides of the family on Christmas Eve, then Christmas Day, and kids were just ecstatic. I got a new pair of boots.
Oh,
a new pair of boots.
What kind? Oh, he's got them on, folks.
Keens,
ladies and gentlemen.
So Keen, they're like waterproof, oilproof, steel toe. They're not like high top boots. They're like low top boots.
Yeah, I mistakenly bought a pair of those once and wear them very rarely because I don't know. I just don't.
I love these ones. I used to wear like cowboy boots all the time, and it makes my leg too hot. And I don't know. I don't like being hot. I don't really like being cold either. I have a very particular range, temperature range that I need to be in. And so this is how
the Goldilocks zone of Austin's feet.
Yeah, this is how I deal with that. But I don't know. Got a few cool things. Just overall, it was just nice to hang out and relax. Really just needed some de-stress time. And yeah, thankfully had some time away from work. Just hang out with wife and kids and just chilled. So
that's important. Other than my gifts, what were your kids' favorite gifts?
Oh, from my son, definitely a bug vacuum. It's like this little pistol looking thing with like 3 things you screw onto the end of it, and you like pull a trigger and it sucks bugs up in, and then you can like unscrew the thing off and
look at it.
There's a magnifying glass that flips around in it to close them in, and you can look at it.
Nice.
So he wanted to go bug hunting in the middle of winter. This was Christmas Day, and it was snowing at night. And it's like, dude, you're not gonna get bugs. But went out into Papa's garage, and we vacuumed up what could have been hundreds of dead crickets.
Okay.
So he was content with that for now.
Yeah.
But
did you get a spider?
No.
Probably some live spiders out there.
Oh, didn't see any.
Okay.
But then my daughter, either, I don't know, a baby or a blanket. She gets very excited over everything.
Oh, okay.
If it's new, when she opens up presents, like she'll open it up and just go, wow.
Even if she doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's kids.
She's at that age where everything's awesome.
Cool.
So
that's a fun age.
Yeah.
I got a flashlight to track blood trails when I'm hunting for things. We were trying it on all sorts of different things. It makes the top of this hat look amazing. And the W on this hat, and I don't know when Patrick comes back in here, the shirt he's wearing.
Awesome. Is it like a black lightish type of thing? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. But it's
interesting.
Super powerful.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So have you actually did you cut yourself to
not yet
throw some blood out there?
No, just see.
Yeah.
No.
I might volunteer to cut myself just to see if that works, because that would be fun.
We'll find out at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. If anyone can find this, I want to see it again so bad. There is a website out there. Well, not website. There's an account called Torrens. So it's like morons, but tourist morons of Yellowstone. That just like is all highlights of people being absolute idiots around the wildlife of Yellowstone. Like going up and trying to pet a bison, or just like getting way too close to an elk or a bear. And usually, you see somebody's recording them, and they're like, people from yelling off camera. They're like, hey, get away from that. You're too close. And this guy just comes in with a voiceover, and he's like, no, go pet it. Like, it wants to be touched. That one looks friendly. You can get it. And there's one where he's like, I think it's a moose. And the guy's like, get away from it, you idiot. And he goes, oh, please, Santa, I've been so good. Please let me have this. Please let me have this. And then it tramples him, and he's like, yes. So if anyone can find that video, I would love to see it.
Man, that's horrible.
Moving on, more Slaughterhouse Children, the dark truth behind the meat you eat. So we've been talking about how, for whatever reason, the meat industry does seem to have a problem with hiring underage workers for overnight cleaning. And apparently it's a much, much bigger issue than we thought. This is too long to watch, but it's from NBC News, and I would highly recommend everybody watch it. It's called Slaughterhouse Children. It gets a little bit into immigration more than I would prefer them to talk about, but it's really, really well done, and does highlight the fact that specifically the poultry processing industry, has a big issue with hiring children to clean those dangerous machines. Now, the youngest one I saw in that was 14 years old. And I don't really have a problem with a 14-year-old working. I have a problem with a 14-year-old working a night shift. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah. There's very few hours of the day that a 14-year-old can and should be working,
Right.
because they shouldn't be working a night shift, and they should be at school for the rest of most of a day.
Whatever.
But the only time
Have to go to school.
you're gonna have a couple hours after school, and then you're gonna have summers. But
Department of Education is one of the biggest mistakes we've made as a country. So I don't care if they go to school. I just don't think that they should be working night shifts.
They probably still need an education.
Their
of some
brain is
sort.
still developing. So yeah, they can get education. They should have an apprenticeship at a job.
Wouldn't be bad.
Is what we should be doing, but neither here nor there. We've talked about this before, but you started working for your company at what age?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. Probably packaged my first 5-pound bag of Sure-Cure when I was 8 years old. I don't know.
That's right. Bring him in. He admitted it on camera. We're taking Waltons down today.
No.
Child labor.
Family.
Yeah, family.
There's exceptions in there. Yeah.
I had a friend who owned a cafe. His family owned a cafe, and he worked there from the time he was like, I don't know, 9 or 10. So.
Yeah. I mean, I say packaged my first bag. I didn't. I don't know. I worked in quotes. I didn't truly like work till probably, I don't know, 12. Maybe I was actually a meaningful contributor.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, when you're 8, you're just hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not really doing anything.
I think it was more of it's a Saturday. Dad wanted to go to work, and Mom's like, you're taking the kids. You're not leaving them with me another day.
All right. I have a funny story of an almost blooper from Meat Matters. There were 2 articles about a bill to prevent us from bringing in meat from a country. And then like just below that was an article that said China allows meat in from this country. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. It's almost like they're trying to influence my opinion on it by saying, well, China does this. Why don't we do it? Turns out, no. They are Paraguay and Uruguay. And I was just kind of misreading it. And then as I was looking through it more, they're both from foot and mouth disease is the reason that there's some regulation against bringing a lot of this meat in. Do you know where Paraguay and Uruguay are? Do you know where Paraguay or Uruguay are?
This is bad, but
Sure.
it has to be either like Central America or like northern part of South America or Eastern Europe. But I'm going to say Central America. That's where I'm going.
For both of them?
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
Okay. So you did guess correctly or somewhat correctly. They're in South America.
Okay.
The south part of South America. But I thought one was in South America and one was in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really annoying how close those 2 countries are too. And they're just separated by this little bit of Argentina. So
Interesting.
I feel like we should go down there and fix that and just make them all one country. So that this doesn't happen to me again. Yeah,
because the U.S. is so good at getting involved in international affairs.
We're great at getting involved in
them. We should go merge 2 countries.
Yes, we're great at getting involved in them. We're not great at doing anything good about it, but we're awesome at getting involved in them. But that did make me laugh. I was quite tickled by the fact that I mixed up or thought Uruguay and Paraguay were the same thing, and then thought one of them was in Africa. And of course, I chose the Uruguay one, I think, because of Uganda. I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't explain the way my brain works.
I was wrong, but I was at least kind of right. I at least guessed they were on planet Earth somewhere, and I was correct there. So
you were way closer than anybody else who's guessed.
We were in the same planet. That's close.
You were on the right continent.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
But I guess if they're close to Argentina, I guess that makes sense that they're doing a lot of beef and stuff because Argentina's big on beef. But if people are blocking their beef because of hand, foot, mouth disease, I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Yeah. Now, hand, foot, and mouth disease is the prion disease or no?
I have no idea.
I don't
know the technical details about it.
Can humans get hand, foot, and mouth disease? Uh-huh. That's the one? Okay. Then it's not a prion disease. Okay. I thought mad cow was also somehow closely related to hand, foot, and mouth disease. I guess not. It won't be. Don't worry about it. All right. If you scroll down, we can look at some of the what did everyone make today or cook today. This is a sort of a holiday version of it. Dave and AZ made some prime rib and some Yorkshire pudding. I had no idea what Yorkshire pudding looked like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is that?
Yeah. I think it's like a bread pudding.
So this is gonna be a stupid question, but
I'm not gonna be able to answer that.
what
for you.
really is bread pudding?
I always thought. Do you remember? Oh, what are they called? Banana. There were these cookies. Patrick, there used to be these little cooked banana wafers. Do you remember that?
Yeah, like vanilla wafers, like you put on top of
Yes.
banana pudding.
Maybe it was vanilla wafers. Were they little round things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nilla wafers.
Nilla wafers.
Okay.
We're
Now we're on the same page.
Sorry
but
about
how
that.
we got there, I don't.
You needed me, so
I was doing banana pudding because you'd put them in banana pudding.
Okay, Patrick, do you know what bread pudding is?
unfortunately, yes. I'm not a bread pudding guy, so I don't want to harp on a lot. Like I haven't eaten a lot of it, but I know when I've had a bite, I go, I don't know what that is. I don't
Can you
like
explain it at all? Like, how is it made? What's it made of?
No, I didn't even.
Just that you don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't want to discover the origins of this. I don't. Maybe I'd be into it. Sounds like two things I like independently and
Right?
then together. What are they going for? I don't even know. Don't people like let bread soak in something and then something and then
I'm sure there's multiple somethings. Like there has to.
No, you can't prove that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I'm correct there. But that looks delicious. Prime rib looks awesome. Z Big Jeff had a pistachio bunt cake. That looks awesome. Patrick, what do you think of when I say bunt cake? Oh, that's you?
I mean,
There's a movie is what I'm looking for.
no.
Oh, is that what you're looking for?
In Something About Mary, when Matt Dillon's character like is meeting her for the first time, he's like, I'd love a bunt cake.
Oh, nice.
And I'd never heard that word before that. We just called it, I think, like angel food cake or
No,
something.
my mom made a lot of those. It was based off of what the shape of the pan or
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but that looks delicious. Then Toys for Dealer went just absolutely nuts. Made some delicious looking prime, and then made I can't think of the name of it. What are those?
Cinnamon rolls?
Thank God. It's struggle.
I was questioning if we were
Struggle
looking at
today.
the same picture
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
we
like, I feel like that's an
I know
easy
it. I
pickup.
just couldn't get the name.
Sorry.
By the way, nobody else knows about chili on cinnamon rolls. That is a Wichita thing. That is not a Kansas thing.
What?
I asked a bunch of people up there because none of my sister's family knew about it. But I'm like, well, you guys aren't really from Kansas. So we went over to some house parties up there and I was like, have you guys ever heard of cinnamon rolls with chili? And they're like, what? No.
I've heard it. Sorry.
I've tried it and it's delicious.
Oh, it's delicious. I've never heard of it or tried it until a few years ago.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's just a new thing.
I don't know. My wife's family, that's like popular for them. We had chili on Christmas Eve, and we had a couple plates of cinnamon rolls, which were absolutely stinking amazing.
Yeah.
I to be honest, I just ate cinnamon rolls by themselves. They need the chili.
They don't need chili, but it's nice.
Yeah, I had no clue this was a thing. I saw I feel like Facebook was already a thing. And then I saw someone like, oh, cleared an old bowl of chili with a cinnamon roll. I was like, what is that? And then to be told it's a local thing, I'm like, no, I knew about it the whole time. So
I've always done that.
No, in my house, when we had chili, and then that was, if we happened to have had cinnamon rolls on that day, and I wasn't looking for it, maybe, but no.
Fritos
dude.
with chili or no?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm a
I
no.
Frito.
I would rather have just the chili.
I mean, I'll have it without, but I like the scoop Fritos with sour cream and cheese on mine, for sure.
So we had chili. We brought Fritos, cheese, and sour cream because
I don't care for the sour cream.
there was somebody there that was like, "What's the sour cream for?" I'm like, "Come on!
What do you mean? What
Are you
it's
kidding
for?
me?" That is like
that very
the main point, in
yeah.
my opinion. The main point of chili is to load up your bowl with as much Fritos, cheese, and sour cream as you can, and then just top it with chili. Like that's how you eat chili.
No.
Yes.
No. Sour cream,
I'll do the opposite. I'll put mine on top, but yeah, I have a healthy amount. There's a crunch, and when there's not an accessory to go on top of the chili, I'm like, I need to go back. My mom's like, you have more? I go, no.
Don't you tell me what to
It's
do.
like when I same thing when I ate all the bacon bits off the salad. I go, it's not. It needs refreshed. Come on. But we're talking about chili and cinnamon rolls. What happened? Where did this pork chop and applesauce thing come from? Was that just a Brady Bunch episode?
Well, I think apple and pork go to get those two tastes go together really
Great
well.
point,
Yeah.
And then people have a tendency to overcook their pork chops and dry them out. So then you put applesauce on it because it's it's got a really high moisture content.
Okay.
No, there's better fixes for that. Buy a Walton's foot-long thermometer and
boy.
cook your meat to the proper temperature.
I was annoyed. I forgot to bring my sister one of those. I was gonna put that in her stocking.
I was annoyed. We were cooking Christmas Day. My dad was grilling, and he's out there with his little 6-inch thermometer, flipping stuff on the grill. And I'm like, dude,
Your dad too?
Yeah, I was like, you have access to this. I was so disappointed. I didn't say anything to him, so I'm just gonna let him listen to this on the podcast and let
You
him
both
know.
have access to tongs.
No,
Just use tongs.
just use a foot-long thermometer. That's all you
You're
need.
gonna get people to break their foot-long thermometers. Anyways,
That's when the upgrade comes in. Didn't we not talk about this? Where it's more probe material-esque, so you could put it in wherever you want, and it has a retractable probe on it, so then distance is not an issue. And it's magnetic, so it could stay on the side.
did we talk about this? Or is this
I dreamt this. I had a dream.
so?
about this.
It connects, but then when you want to have it, you put it in and you just pull it out, and you put that on the side of the. Are you getting it?
What?
Okay, hold on a second.
I think, yeah, we need.
I'm with you, Patrick.
we need pen and paper.
Genius.
Maybe
So-
it's just the tip that does it too, so it doesn't even need to be the whole mechanism. So it
So
could be,
somewhere around here or here, there's a break, right? There's a cord in here, so you put it in there, and you pull this part out, and the cord comes out,
so it's
and
even
then you
further.
put it out here,
So it's further
so
than
it
a
can
foot.
just stay in there.
It's the retractable thermometer.
So,
Patrick.
I know, right? I thought of
That's
this like a
pretty
week ago.
slick.
That's not bad.
But yeah, I mean,
I've got one that I'm literally gonna try.
the functionality of it though. Like
I'm gonna think not this. I'm saying I've got an idea like that I'm gonna try and do. So I'm not gonna bring it up here.
Oh, nice.
But every single person I talked to up there was like, "Oh yeah, I'd 100% buy that." And it's not hard to do. Oh, it doesn't sound hard to do.
Cool.
interesting.
Well, once you hit a wall, and then we could talk about it on here.
Oh, we'll talk about it as soon as we stop recording. Just not gonna let one of these people steal my idea. All right, then we've got Clay Kala did smoked pulled pork for Christmas. I really like that idea. That seems like a good holiday meal.
So I like that it's in an aluminum pan. I used to not cook like pulled pork and stuff like that in an aluminum pan. I would just throw it on the grill. Now I cook all of that in there because then you save all the fat. I never it just didn't cross my mind. I don't know. I've done it for a few years now, but for whatever reason, never crossed my mind before that, I should cook it in a pan so I save all the stuff. And then I just put it in when I pull it. I pull it in the pan and all the liquid and fat's still there.
Now it depends on what you're using to like season your meat with. If you're using an acidic thing, you don't want to cook it in an aluminum pan. The acidity interacts with the aluminum and does bad things.
I usually just either butter flavored roast beef pump or Paul's Black Bull.
Yeah, I'm sure. You're fine
And
with both of those.
outside smokehouse barbecue because I would do other things, but I'm always too paranoid that who I'm cooking for, are they going to be particular? And I'm just like, just use regular barbecue.
Yep.
Make it so everybody's happy.
Or I hate pulled pork, and it should be boycotted from all barbecue restaurants. What
Why
do
do you
think
hate
of that?
pulled pork?
Every time I have it, it's terrible. It gets cold very quick.
Does
Oh,
get
yes.
cold very quick. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I always get the piece that has I wish it was gristle at this point. I'm chipping a tooth, and I pull it out. It looks like someone's prosthetic hip. But it's miniature. You know exactly
I
what
do
I'm
know what you're
talking about.
talking
Yeah,
about,
it's
yeah.
great. And then sometimes if the bark is set up at all, instantly dry, and it has to get just buried in barbecue sauce. And then you're talking about sauces at that point. And then what's the best? Let's have a napkin covered in. So I'm eating sauce, dude. So
Yeah.
and then they give you a cold bun. I'm gonna oh yeah, thanks.
What do you want? The bun toasted?
At least
not
keep
adding
warmed.
It's not adding anything to it. So
The bun is a vehicle to hold the pulled pork sandwich.
I'd rather just see in the.
Okay.
I'm already fat. They're making me here get fatter and add no flavor or substance to your meal too. What are we doing?
If you're gonna be fat, and I put myself in this boat, I want the food to be delicious. I don't want to stay fat and not eat good food.
So that's my overly intense take on pulled pork, but everything else I'm kind of game with. But yeah, I am not getting tricked by pulled. Everyone's like, oh, don't worry, I'll do barbecue. No, you're not going to do the easiest thing possible. Barely look at it, overcook it, oversauce it, and then act like it's the greatest. Isn't this awesome? No, sucks.
We're gonna have to make him some really good pulled pork.
I'm
Please.
sure we have in the
That's
past.
my
and
It
he
sounds like it's my mashed potatoes at this point.
It's possible that we caused this hate for pulled pork.
No, this is like functions dating back to like 2003 for sure. Like, when everyone became a barbecue enthusiast overnight. So,
Yep. All right. Rafter W made some sourdough barbecue chicken grilled cheese. Now, on the sourdough topic.
Have you killed yours?
Oh, it's dead as dead can be. It grew mold inside of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
that sounds alive.
That's kind of
It's
true.
growing something.
Yeah. My wife did that. I think she has some in reserve somewhere.
Okay.
But what she had on the counter, like somewhat recently, it molded and went bad. And like I was going to try to wash it out. And she was like, no, don't do that. She's like, throw it away. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna clean it out. It'll be fine. I open it up and I'm pouring water in, dumping it out. This is the most horrific smell.
Oh, the whole
I
thing's
have
getting
ever
thrown out
smelled
then.
in my
Then
life.
forget it.
I threw the whole
Okay.
thing out then at that
Thank
point.
you for telling me that because I will not try to clean it.
Oh,
then.
if you haven't opened it,
I have
and it's
not.
mold stuff, no, throw that away.
Okay.
Do not open that.
Okay.
It's going to be foul.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Whatever that jar costs, it's worth replacing. It's
I
worth
think it was like
replacing.
$8 or something. Then Possum made awesome looking crab legs, mussels, crayfish. And I don't get why people put corn on the cob in there, but whatever. He put corn on the cob as well. It looked absolutely delicious.
I didn't
That's
see
so
the
bad.
picture at first. I just
You
saw the
saw
start
yes,
of the
freaking
text
please?
and it said possum. Yes, freaking please. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, this is leading up to us doing a possum willet barbecue. And I'm not excited about it. But no, that is amazing looking.
You forget so soon.
Ugh.
We did possum.
We did possum?
We did possum.
See, I don't
remember how
these things.
terrible it was.
I don't know. Dude, stuff like that gives me trauma and I block it.
That one was bad.
That is, you don't let trauma in. You just put a hard mental block in it and you go on with life.
I'm good with
It's
that.
actually not a good.
No, I'm good with
don't
that.
take
That's
that
what we should
advice.
be doing.
But
All right, let's move on to Meat Matters. Colorado has released 10 gray wolves into the wilderness. Now, if you watch that video and go to the 30-second mark, and I don't know why it doesn't say this in here, it's also the minute 10 mark, I believe. What you'll notice is that in the background, all of the people, the one guy behind the first wolf they released is clearly a politician of some kind. I don't know what politician is, but clearly is, because he is the only one smiling. All of the other people are staring at it like, oh no, what did we just do? Like, did we really just release a super predator into
Yes.
Colorado?
yes.
Why did we do this?
Super predators. That sounds familiar.
I'm going to call a pack of wolves a super predator of the right? Super predator in my mind in the U.S. are grizzly bears, well, any type of brown bear, mountain lions, packs of wolves, and they say there's some jaguars.
Ask Hillary Clinton what she thinks. I was like, how's he not get like that was the exact
Patrick was looking at me
words
very
used.
intently.
I was like,
I was like,
What are you doing?
like,
right
is
now?
he thinking of I'm going to say alligator or
That's
something?
the
I don't
word.
get
That's
what
the
he's
word she was
confused
using.
about.
That was years.
But there's somehow they're also saying there are now jaguars, like multiple of them, in Arizona.
What?
Yeah, they come up through Mexico. So they've had one confirmed in Arizona for a while now, and they think it comes and goes. They call it Big Hefe, which I always thought Hefe was like kind of like big something, like the name itself. Anyways, but now they're saying there's multiple ones in there, so we may soon have breeding sets of jaguars in the U.S.
That's just wild. Like my biggest thing on like the wolves is like, it's not like where you release them, they're going to stay. Like the whole point is that they are going to be fruitful and multiply.
Yep.
And then they're going to kind of go everywhere. And then what happens the first time that it gets into an interaction with a human? What happens to all the ranchers out there that have to deal with guarding their cattle and their sheep and their goats and whatever you're raising? Like it just they went away kind of for a reason.
Yep.
And I understand that there's a reason they were there to begin with. So it's kind of a touchy subject. Like
they used to be there. We eradicated them, so people feel a responsibility to reintroduce them. The thing about it is, what about the caribou that used to be all over the country? What about all these elk populations? You don't care about that. You just like wolves because they look like dogs. Like, let's be honest, that's what it is. right?
Yeah.
That is what it is.
And we don't see we don't see wolf kills. Like we don't see what it like.
Right.
You go off and do that somewhere else.
Yep.
And then you come back.
Honestly, I don't even think it's that concerning interactions with humans. It's the ranchers and farmers that are going to have the problems with this.
Yeah.
So they said that they have resources set up because they instantly ran into somebody saw, like they released 4 in one county, I think, and 6 in another. Somebody instantly saw 3 of the 4, like 2 days later, right by her herd. And she was like, well, we called this number like we're supposed to. And she was very good in the message I saw from her. She's just like, whatever side you came down on this, they are now here and we're going to have to deal with them. So I want to, document my experience. Apparently there is a fund that ranchers can draw on for when they lose one of their animals to this, but how do you prove that?
So it says up to $15,000 for the death or injury of livestock. But how are you going to prove it? And is 15 going to be enough? Because if the wolves find a very complete source of protein,
they're not going
intake,
away.
Are they going to leave, or are they just going to sit there and pick everyone off?
It will be interesting to see what happens to the mountain lion kills as well, because they have this documented in Montana, I believe, where wolves will follow mountain lions around and then try and steal their kill from them. So what the mountain lions will do is just kill extra and leave it, so that the wolves just go eat that and leave the mountain lion alone, so it can go do whatever it wants. So is it going to be the type of thing like, no, a mountain lion killed that? Well, the mountain lion killed that to get the wolves to leave it alone.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. The dogs make the cats like, do my work for me. Go get me food. I like that.
Everyone knows that dogs are superior to cats.
100%. Of the big cats, what are your favorites? Rank them.
Well, usually, like the purple power cats are number one.
No. I want big cats.
I don't know. When I was a kid, I always loved cheetahs just because they're just so fast. Yeah. But like, minus that aspect, probably just mountain lion. I like mountain lion.
That's the only one you like?
Well, I don't feel like I could like, I don't know. A lot of big cats are cool. I mean, lions and tigers and everything, like cool, but I also don't feel like I could like have one as a pet. No. I feel like when you start getting to like mountain lion size, like maybe.
Some people
it's a maybe.
Yeah. Cheetahs, people keep as pets. There's this cute video of this guy sleeping outside with his cheetah, and it's having nightmares. So you can see it have nightmares, and it wakes up and like goes over and cuddles next to him. It's cute. But no, jaguars are my favorite because they dive in off trees and bite crocodiles or caimans, whatever, right through the brainstem and just kill them. And then they
crocodiles?
Oh yeah,
I gotta see a video of this.
Oh, you must have seen it.
I don't think so.
So they dive into the water and they'll come out with either a crocodile or alligator or a caiman, and they're like holding it, and they've killed it. Like that one bite has just paralyzed it and it's dead.
So when we're talking like jaguars, is this like not like leopards?
No, leopards and jaguars are different things.
Two different things. So like a Bagheera type of thing.
Bagheera was a tiger.
No, is it?
Bagheera. Is that the bad guy from Jungle Book or the good guy?
No, the good guy.
Oh, that was
the black one that he hung out in the trees.
It's a jaguar.
So is a panther a jaguar?
I believe so.
Okay, I'm sharpening up on my big cat.
That one I'm iffy on that.
Okay,
but no, it goes jaguars, tigers, mountain lions, leopards, cheetahs, lions. I don't care for lions.
Do you get bobcats in there anywhere? Because bobcats are definitely at a phase where you can say I have a pet.
I don't think you want a pet bobcat.
Yeah, you could. They're small enough.
They are vicious.
I know, but that's the good part about it.
Yeah, they go under lions.
Okay.
Fun. Leopards are vicious. I think they kill more people than any other big cat, but tigers every year. Have you ever seen them where they go on rampages in India, the leopards? Oh, they just mess people up.
So the only one of those that we, I guess, really have, at least on your list, that we have like native here would be mountain lion, right?
And we just talked about
it's not native.
Jaguars. How is it not native? They came here. Nobody introduced them.
They said there's like one or two.
Yeah,
that's not doesn't count.
Yeah.
I mean, it counts, but it doesn't count.
Well, I mean, You can't confirm any Bigfoot, and I would still consider that a native.
We haven't gone down that rabbit hole in a while. You and Tex used to send me like articles like once a week on that.
Them scratcher in them hills. All right. Outbreak Archives, Food Poisoning Bulletin. Now, I have not looked at this today. We're still only at number 5. Darn it. This is a list. They're doing a countdown of the biggest. Oh, no, we have one more. Of the biggest food poisoning outbreaks in the U.S. in 2023. So this isn't on their list technically, but Wanna Banana had lead poisoning outbreak. Then they also had a mold problem in their whatever those are, those little squeeze packages things. Then we had hepatitis A in frozen strawberries.
Oh, that's
not good.
What?
Yep.
wow.
But I eat frozen strawberries.
The number 7 was deadly peaches with listeria. So those had listeria in them. Huntley High School had an E. coli outbreak. Number 6 was gold medal flour had salmonella outbreak. Number 5 was ShopRite ground beef. Then there was just a random one of Campylobacter outbreak from Pacific oysters. Now, for those of you who don't know, Campylobacter is one of the things that we're very concerned with in cured meat. It's the cure does a very good job combating it, but it is a very serious problem. Then we have another one. The number 5 one is leafy green listeria outbreak. And the top one, which is not one of the ones they just listed it, is 82 children sick after eating recalled Wanna Banana fruit purees. So if you're feeding your child Wanna Banana, that has been on this list 3 times for 3 different things. So
Wow, that's bad.
What are they doing? Where are they at?
who knows, man? Who knows?
Cut to one guy just like eating 82. He's
That's interesting. They're just those
Puts it
little
back.
those little pouch things.
Yep. None of these 82 were in Kansas though, so whatever.
Biggest thing I take away from the list is 1 was meat.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Oyster technically.
Yeah.
But-
no. You didn't cook it.
Right.
You don't cook
Right.
oysters. Like,
Yep.
what do you expect? Like,
Yep.
that's why people cook meat though. I mean,
I do love
because
raw
you would
oysters,
you
though.
would get sick off of eating meat if you ate it raw. But all these other things you eat raw, yeah, you still get sick.
raw
not every
oysters are
time.
so good though.
Yeah. Delicious. Yeah.
Absolutely delicious.
I've never had one.
Oh, they're good. But anyways, yes, that was the exact same thing I took away from it is just one of those is meat. Then we have 12 false facts about pork you thought were true. So some of this list is a little ridiculous. I will fly right through it. All pork is high in fat. We've talked about a lot in the past how some cuts have lower fat content than chicken breast. Pork lacks flavor. Nobody's ever said that. Literally, I don't think anyone's ever said that, right? Oh, I don't like pork. It doesn't taste like anything. Pork has tons of flavor.
I mean, the only thing would be is if you had like a boneless chop that had all the fat taken off of it, because that gets so lean,
And then
then
didn't
if you
season
don't
it with
season it,
anything,
and yeah,
right.
then there's not going to be a lot of flavor.
Sure.
But
in general, the knock against pork isn't that it's flavorless.
no,
Pork is a white meat. This falls into the other white meat slogan. Do you remember that? Pork. No, not the other. Are you too young to remember the slogan "Pork, the other white meat"? You do remember.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So that falls into that. Another false one is consuming bacon greatly increases your risk of cancer. Good on them for saying that.
Dang it.
Pork must be cooked more than other meats. Now, there's some validity to this because they did used to recommend you cooked pork higher than other meats. And it was to combat
trichinosis, trichinella.
Did you eat bacon?
No, that was uncomfortable.
The Atkins diet says you can eat
I was
bacon.
hiccuping. And like some bile came.
Oh, I would say eat more of this, but you're probably having heartburn because of the andouille.
Yeah, most likely. Still worth it. Yeah, but so that was for trichinella, which they no longer consider an issue. Cooking is the only way to prepare pork. Obviously, that is false as well. Anytime we're talking about things like prosciutto, all of that is done with salt and just dry curing. All sausages contain pork. I don't really know how that one's about pork, but whatever. Pork contains few nutrients. That's obviously not true. Now, this one's a little disturbing. It says false. Most pigs are reared in a humane manner.
See, it's not true. I literally just watched a video on this last night about farming and animals and what kind of quality of life, even a not great farm, pig farm, cow farm, like whatever, you're raising animals, you name it. Almost all of them are going to have a better quality of life than what they would have in the wild because they have food, they have shelter, they have medicine and no disease. Most places, they don't want flies. They don't want other insects and things around because they hurt things. And it's like a farmer wants to take care of its animals. Are they given a small amount of space at times? Yeah, some places I think maybe a valid argument is that they don't have as much space as if they were a wild animal, but they have everything else. Like they have so many other things.
Sure. I would say with the majority of, small, medium-sized farms, you're absolutely right. But for some of these incredibly large places, I mean, it's not good living conditions. I mean, is it better than them in the wild? I don't know.
No. Well, they're in the food chain in the wild, so.
Why? What eats them in the U.S.? Nothing eats them.
I don't.
Once a hog gets to like regular size, and the only thing that could eat them would be a bear or a mountain lion, and
let's reintroduce jaguars.
That's probably something.
well, maybe that's what we're doing. All right, and then false. Pigs are dumb and dirty. I've always said
pigs are smart.
Pigs about as smart as a dog, but that last picture is adorable. Like those are cute pigs. Yeah. They intentionally chose pigs that have a huge smile on their face, those adorable ears.
They have been shown to have superior intelligence to 3-year-old humans.
That's not saying much, though.
I don't know. 3-year-olds can be pretty smart.
For a 3-year-old.
Can they do trigonometry? No. They're not.
Can you do trigonometry?
Do I even know what trigonometry is? Not really. But, I mean, come on. They're not that smart. And then also pork is not as popular as other meats. All porks come from the same types of pigs. There's the heritage brand or breed, all sorts of ones. So whatever. 12 things we thought we knew about pork.
I didn't know there were pigs that looked like that.
Oh, the hairy.
Brutally honest.
Yeah.
That's
curly hair all over them. All right. Using alfalfa as a supplement for beef cows. So using the calculator.
Nice.
Right?
Wow.
So that's from Oklahoma State. Good job, Oklahoma State. That is the perfect name. So for those who didn't hear, it's the Cowculator, Beef Cattle Nutrition Evaluation Program. We see that a 1,250-pound cow in the third trimester of gestation, grazing stockpiled native range in January and February, would need 6 pounds of supplemental 20% range cubes per day to meet their protein and energy goals. That'd be $1.67 per day per cow, which is extremely inexpensive. Now, here's my problem with this, or maybe my misunderstanding, is I heard that alfalfa is extremely resource intensive, specifically water, to grow. In fact, I heard that to the point where like most of the alfalfa that's grown here is then shipped over to Saudi Arabia. And they only do that because they won't allow alfalfa to be grown over there because it's like takes so much water to grow any alfalfa.
If that's true, that's insane.
Right.
Because you're going to spend more in shipping than you will on the actual product.
You would think.
Yeah.
But so anyways, starting to use alfalfa to supplement. It read like mostly they're doing it for pregnant cows, but could be something they do more in the future. Then ranchers beef with environmental groups over perceptions of meat. This is also from the Colorado Sun. Lot going on in Colorado right now as far as, well, just all sorts of news, but definitely in the meat industry. But it says Lee Valley is among meat producers who are largely backing a congressional bid to allow small and mid-sized meat processor facilities to expand their operations. The Butcher Block Act, co-sponsored by Colorado U.S. Senator Michael Bennet, authorizes USDA loans and loan guarantees to increase and modernize small and medium-sized meat processing facilities and rendering facilities. Where is this? Where's the 30%? Darn it. Because I wanted to talk about, I must not have grabbed one of the correct articles or one of the correct sections from the article. Because in it, they're talking about how Earth First has a stat that says 30% of all available land is used in ranching. And that's a ridiculous stat. There's no way it is 30% of all the land is used for ranching.
Yeah, that's a lot of land.
Even if you look at America, it's nowhere near that. I mean, Kansas, it's more than 30%, I would imagine.
Is that really 30% of all land, or is it 30% of some sort of land?
Like agricultural land?
Maybe.
Possibly, but it upsets me because I have used Earth First in the past for some stats because they are clearly like on the environmental side, but they use reasonable stats. They'll say like, you know, ranching is responsible for 12% of all greenhouse gas emissions instead of, you know, some of these numbers that get up as high as 25%.
Yeah.
So seeing them slide off that more reasonable list makes me a little annoyed. From later in the article, it says slaughterhouses dump toxic chemicals into waterways. And most of all, nobody with a heart in their chest can watch the footage of what happens to animals inside these facilities without feeling disgusted. So that's not an argument.
Where's your proof that slaughterhouses dump toxic chemicals into waterways?
Now, there is the one, I think it's in Missouri, that's been like, I think twice now dinged for doing that.
Yeah, you always have bad apples in the tree. For like the long time on TV, you saw like commercials where somebody was using this like forklift to like move around this cow. And it's like, that is not what people do. And that person should not have done that. And to be honest, yeah, they should get fined. There should be rules against it. There are rules against it. Like, but that's not everyone. You don't take one example and say everyone.
And I'm
like
almost positive that they found out later that footage is of them moving a cow with mad cow disease who couldn't move itself.
Really?
Yes. So I'm fairly certain if we're talking about the same thing, which I bet we are, that is the thing there. But also, just from a quality standpoint, during the slaughtering process, or like prior to them being slaughtered, there's so much effort that goes in to keep the animals calm because it destroys the quality of the meat if you don't. So even if you want to say it's not because, you know, these people are normal humans and have a heart and don't want things to suffer, they would do that just to protect their bottom line. So this whole, like, you know, I hear people say, oh, you know, they smuggled in footage once and there's this guy who like slams a piglet, like grabs it by its back legs. Yeah, you're going to get sickos in any business, period. There's going to be people who do immoral, unethical, disgusting things. And I have trouble not believing that wasn't in some way a plant. Like, oh, you happen to catch that when you smuggled in the camera that happened on the same day. That seems likely.
Mm-hmm.
But so it says Bennett's bill would be a step backward in the move away from factory farming. There is no place for slaughterhouses in the progressive, peaceful future Colorado voters wish to create. The government should be leading a transition away from animal agriculture, or at the very least, stop tilting the scales of competition against humane, sustainable alternatives. Nobody give this man food when everything goes to pot.
Yeah.
Nobody feed him, period. Make him go out into the wilderness and find his own better burger. Make him go out and find, you know, his alfalfa sprouts by himself.
Yeah. The thing that people forget is that, taking Colorado as an example, like the vast like majority of the people that are going to think like that are centered around Denver and Colorado Springs. Yep. Everyone else is like, hey, we rely on agriculture and things that involve the outdoors and nature. And so they're not going to go that way. You even get to the big cities, the people most people in big cities still eat meat.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to be told no.
Yeah.
I forget what the exact stats are, but we went through that on like how many people are vegetarians, how many people are vegans, and we're looking at numbers there. Specifically when we talk about alternative meat, and this guy brings up sustainable alternatives. No, the thing is, none of those alternatives are sustainable right now. They're not at a point where they can do things. Lab grown meat is not far enough along to be a reasonable alternative. Like there is no true reasonable alternative right now, and people still want their meat.
There is one lab grown meat who's saying that they've done it where it will be just as like they will be able to sell it for the same amount. But I read the article and it's like, we think we can bring this to market by like 2030 something. I was like, what the? Yeah, like, okay, so you have a plan to do it. You have not done it.
I think some of their calculations in there are also probably forecasting and hedging what the price of meat will be by then, which probably assumes that meat will be 10 times the cost that it is now.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Very possible. All right, moving on to wild card. Now, Patrick and I talked about this before. We need to do a week that does not have any animal stories, but this won't be that week. This will mostly be animal stories.
But it will not be this week.
So, what is that? But it will not be this day.
Lord of the Rings.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, we might. So, I can't remember what they say. Why is it doing that? I can read this article without doing anything at all on my desktop. Well, I'm annoyed. Skip that first article.
Fox News?
Yeah, unless you can.
Yeah.
All right, scroll through them. Nope. See, you can't either.
Oh.
On my desktop, I can see that no problem.
Huh. Oh, that's weird.
It wants us to log in. I'm not doing it.
Not doing that.
I'm not doing it. Pennsylvania Animal Shelter celebrates having no dogs for the first time in 47 years, which is pretty awesome. All their dogs got adopted.
That's cool.
What were you about to say? You had something for me.
Well, I'll say it anyways. I was like, I'll say it. And I was like, no, I shouldn't say it. Just thinking, hello, Pop, my name's Kettle, because we make people sign in to read stuff on Meatgistics now. But I get it. I do. So,
But we're not Fox News.
But Fox News, see, here's the difference, though. Fox News sells ads. I don't sell ads on Meatgistics.
Right.
I do nothing. There's nothing. There's no monetization on it at all. The only thing that is of any value is for us to know who our readers are.
Right.
That's it. We don't even do anything with it past that. We just want to know how many people we actually have that are on here doing things.
Actually doing things.
We don't sell information. We don't subscribe them to an email list. We don't do anything with it. We just want to know how many people are there. But I don't have a problem with that as much as I go to a site and they're like, hey, we need you to do this, and we need you to sign in, and then now we need you to pay for this, and then we also need you to do this, but we're still going to bombard you with ads.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's not the point.
Do you know how many registered users we have on Meatgistics now?
I'm going to guess high, 26,000.
Okay. Do you remember what my goal was? One of my goals were for this year?
Raising it a certain percentage or number,
Yeah.
but did you hit it even after I crushed you
we're
off?
way past it.
Okay, cool.
Even if you go from the high number we started with, we're at just below 28,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Because
Now, to be fair,
we were at like, I want to say we were at like 24, and I cut us down to like
17,
18,
something like that. Yeah.
I-
You cut it in like third, basically.
Yeah.
Now, to be completely fair, the majority of the driving force behind getting up to 28,000 was the decision that I argued against, which was making people log in. But you were correct.
We maybe need to put a disclaimer on there that says like, we're not showing you ads. We're not selling your info. We're not doing anything. We just want to know you're a real human being that is reading.
I wouldn't change anything at this point. It's working.
Yeah. I just worried that I make people upset by it. Just probably because I rage when I see some of it, but
we might be angrier than the average person though. So might not bother
Those
them.
shelter dogs would have been free, by the way, but they were kidnapped and put in cages inside this building. So it sounds oxymoronic to me for them to be celebrating such a day. So
Yeah, but they were taken off the streets and gotten home.
What are they users, dude? They're doing fine.
They're not doing. A wild dog is not doing fine.
Fur. They're fine.
In Pennsylvania,
they're probably given food.
most of those dogs are probably dying in the winter if they're out. It's cold in Pennsylvania, man.
You've watched too many movies.
We're letting wolves back out into the wild.
Right,
Why can't
so
we let dogs?
those
dogs.
dogs are cool, but regular dogs aren't.
All right.
That's discrimination.
A great white shark attacked a 16-year-old on Christmas Day in Australia.
Why are you surfing on Christmas Day?
Right. He was fine. It was a 7-footer or something like that, and it bit his board and got like his leg as well. So he bled pretty good, but his buddy knew basic first aid and got a tourniquet on his leg.
Oh, imagine that conversation. Dude, bro, I can't see. What's it feel like, man?
And it's Australia, so you know there was a lot of bras and dudes.
Yeah, tourniquet, I can't, who can do it in Australia?
You can't use an Australian accent and sound smart. I'm sorry, it's just not possible.
That's what I was saying.
It is not possible.
Well, there's that one show where they're lifeguards, and I think they're from Australia, and they do a good job, but it's always just like, it's either it went great, and then like they're mad at the people for being stupid tourists, or it's like, you know, you don't look forward to days like these, I reckon, you know.
All right. Mom secretly feeds malnourished vegan child meat behind parents' backs. She did it because the kid looked pale and sickly. So she snuck some meat into the
what
kid's
meat
food.
do you think she went with?
I don't remember. If it said, I don't remember.
If you're trying to get a small child meat unbeknownst to the parents, what are you going for personally?
I mean, you might as well go to the top, give them some beef.
I mean, but no. Go
You
like,
just say this is a fake burger.
no. Are you preparing it or something?
Of course.
Like, and I'm going to Chipotle, right? I'm going, just load me up. I tell them, give me double meat, but don't charge me because this is going
Do a good cause.
this is going to a kid that needs it. And then I would, like, hey, get over here, and then just like open up, and I'm just pouring chicken down this poor kid's mouth.
There was a lot of things in there you shouldn't have said.
Quickly chew. Oh, me. You should have heard this guy off camera earlier.
Me too.
This guy adds pauses at the worst.
Shouldn't have brought that up. Okay.
Pot, black, kettle. What were you guys saying?
Sorry, bunny lovers. Snow hares eat meat too, and it's other snow hares. So I don't know. You guys are not Monty Python fans, but there's a killer rabbit in it.
Yeah.
So what behind the rabbit? No, it is the rabbit. So you have meat eating bunnies out there. Be careful. The chances of a bunny killing you are low, but they're not zero now.
It's my favorite book growing up, Buncula. It was a bunny.
I remember Buncula.
Dracula. Essentially.
Buncula?
Do you remember? Yeah, it was Vampire Bunny.
Interesting.
Do you remember a series of books that were called Little Monster? It was like about a little kid and its mom, and he was like a monster, and it went through like things like little kids go through. Maybe. So I saw a meme the other day, and I took a picture of it and sent it to my whole family, and it was like, I never realized I would grow up to be Little Monster. And it was like, I'm awfully tired was the book title of one. Everything Makes Me Angry was the title of another. The third was I Don't Want to Be Around People. I don't remember what the fourth was, but I was like, yes, that's fair. All right. Now this says, disgusting moment. New York City commuter eats an entire lobster on the subway by himself as he cracks open the crustacean with his bare hands. I don't think they know what the word disgusting means. I think they meant like amazing, impressive.
Is it cooked?
Very, yeah. Yep.
Oh, well, what?
Celebration. Like, that's awesome.
What a clean,
I'm just going to go in here and eat my lobster on the subway.
Remember, we've talked about this. If I knew how to eat seafood, I'd eat probably a lot more of it. It's just all in shells and crevices.
It's difficult to get to.
Yeah, dude, I can't
Patrick
do that.
just gives up.
It's on video. Remember me? We were out back.
Oh, the crabs.
Doing all the stuff, soft shell, and I was like,
I just think those were not soft shell crabs. I just don't think you have the patience for it. Those are Maryland blue crabs.
I don't. You see, and then you got to talk to guys that know different types of crabs. It's a boys' club. I'm not invited to. It's. I mean the seafood lovers around here. It's something else.
Yeah, the seafood lovers in Kansas. They're everywhere.
That's what it is too. We don't like your guys' attitude.
exactly.
Take your shore stuff and
That's
shove it.
that's East Coast. Go back there. We don't want you.
Yeah, your Joe's Crab Shack and whatever else. Your Carolinas. Are they north or south, buddy?
It doesn't matter. It's all one.
Yeah. So.
All right, that's the end of all the stories I had. You did surprisingly well. Your voice actually started sounding better as we went on, not worse.
Yeah, I took medicine right as I walked in the door, and right before I walked in the door, and I don't know, I've drank a lot of water in the last hour and a half.
No, you sound like you're doing better. So
A little bit.
we fixed you.
Dude, I forgot to drink water today. I'm glad you said that.
This is today is the most water I've drinking in I don't know how long. It may be 4 months. It legitimately may be 4
You
months.
guys didn't tell me it was a water day. Come
Well,
on.
I woke up this morning and I was about to pour myself a big diet ginger ale. Like I drink an upsetting amount of diet ginger ale. It's truly. I went up to see my sister and I was like, "Hey, we need to hit the store." she's like, "I'm going. I can go, or I can get it for him." I'm like,
No, I don't
"No,
want you.
you won't want to." And she's like, "Well, what do you need?" I'm like, "Diet ginger ale." She's like, "Oh, I'll get you some." I'm like, "You won't want to get the amount I want."
Would you
I'm
get
like, "I'll come
did
with
you
you."
get like 8 2-liters?
I got
or something?
6 2-liters, and then we went out and I got 2 more twice.
I feel like my aunts are coming to town or something. This is wild.
How many days were you there?
It couldn't have been.
I went up
more
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and came back Monday. So 5 days. So 2 liters a day.
Dude, you're
Oh
like,
my
you know what?
goodness.
You're like my 600-pound life, but you're not obese.
Is it better? Right? That's got to be better than the amount of energy drinks I was drinking. It's got to be more healthy than that.
Yeah.
So listen, guys.
Supplemented.
Yeah,
probably.
small steps. We're taking small steps. I quit smoking again. So that was easy. That was easy. I'm never going to give up drunk cardio, though. That's not going to happen.
I quit again.
Today was the wrong day to quit methamphetamines.
What are they? It looks like I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Oh my god.
Amphetamines, right? He goes speed, or he might even say speed. Looks like I picked the wrong day to stop doing speed. Did he say drinking? I think he says drinking.
Yeah.
Too. I got to watch that movie again.
I don't remember how many different ones, but yeah.
The best
Good
line
movie,
from it,
good
though,
lines.
hands down, is always going to be the fog is getting thicker and Leon's getting larger. Love that. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, no. We'll see you next year.
Y'all got it in.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.